You know that feeling after a long day of speaking in English? You get home, you sit down, and you just deflate. Like someone unplugged you. And it's not the normal kind of tired. It's not like I need an early night's sleep. It's something heavier, something that lives behind your eyes and your chest. And the weird thing is maybe you were not even doing anything that dramatic. Just a few meetings in English, or a call with a client, or a dinner with friends where English was the only option that you had to speak. But you are absolutely exhausted from it. And if you ever felt that way, I want you to know that you are not imagining it at all. And you are not being dramatic. And you are definitely not alone in this feeling. Today, I want to talk about why this happens. Because I think once you understand it, you will never feel too guilty or too hard on yourself. Here's the one thing that nobody talks about when learning English. Speaking a second language, especially whenever it really matters, and especially when people are watching, is one of the most demanding things you can do for your brain. Full stop. And yet we walk around expecting ourselves to do it effortlessly, to sound polished, confident, and natural at the same time. And then when we feel really exhausted afterwards, we think that there's something wrong with us. But here's what I want you to hold on to this entire video. The exhaustion is not a sign that you are failing. It's a sign that your brain has been working incredibly hard in ways that nobody can really see. Let's talk about why. Okay, so think about what actually happens whenever you speak in English. On the surface, it looks really simple, right? You open your mouth and words come out. But what's happening underneath? Your brain is doing 5 things at the same time. It's finding the right words, it's checking grammar, it's monitoring your tone, it's reading the other person's facial expressions, and it's managing how you're coming across. It's doing all of that in the same time in real time with no pauses. Native speakers don't have to do that consciously. For them, the language just flows naturally. It's automatic. It's like breathing. They're not thinking about it, they're just talking. But maybe for you, every conversation takes active effort. Even whenever it comes out really smooth on the surface, something is happening underneath. I definitely got a small taste of this as I'm learning French while living in Paris. After even a short conversation like talking to a neighbor or talking to customer service, I feel this kind of specific mental fatigue that has nothing to do with lack of sleep. It's a completely different feeling entirely, and I know what's happening whenever it hits me. I coach a lot of international students and it still really gets to me. So if you feel drained after speaking English, that's a real feeling. That's your brain telling you the truth about how much work you've been putting into it. Now take everything I just said and add the pressure on top of it. Whether it's a job interview, a presentation, or a meeting where you have to make a really good impression, or a conversation with someone that intimidates you a little bit. In this moment, something really shifts inside. Your body goes into this kind of low-level alert mode. Your heart beats a little faster, and your mind gets a little bit louder. And what's happening to your English during that time? Maybe the words that feel totally accessible a few seconds ago feel really far away now, like they're absolutely out of reach. This is why a lot of my English students tell me, I know exactly what I wanted to say, but in the moment, my mind went completely blank. And they assume their English is not good enough, but that's not the case at all. When your body goes into stress mode, the part of your brain that handles language, nuance, and quick thinking suddenly got a lot quieter. Your body is just trying to protect you. It's in protection mode. And speaking beautifully in another language just suddenly got deprioritized. So after those high-stake moments, you don't just feel mentally tired, you feel absolutely wrung out because you were running on adrenaline rush the whole time. And when it finally ends, you crash. Does that sound familiar? Okay, so we talked about the mental side and the pressure side, but there's a third layer to the exhaustion. And honestly, it's the one that hits the deepest. It's the emotional, vulnerable side. Here's what I mean. In your native language, you are fully yourself. You are funny, you are witty, you are curious, you're very intentional, you are really sharp, and you are very articulate. Basically, you can hold a conversation really well. You can say exactly what you mean with a lot of weight behind it. But sometimes in English, especially underneath all that pressure, there's a big gap between who you are and who you really want to be. Your thoughts are complex and your opinions are nuanced. But in that moment, what actually ends up coming out feels a bit simplified. Like maybe you're running at 60% yourself. And that gap you feel is really exhausting in ways that's really hard to describe to people who just don't understand what it feels like. And you're not just tired from the language, you're tired from the constant effort of managing of how you are being perceived. Wondering things like, did that land right? Did I sound strange? Did they actually understand that I was trying to come across this way? And maybe feeling like the version of you showing up today just did not get the full picture. That kind of invisible labor can really accumulate. And at the end of a long day, it feels like you've been carrying so much weight that nobody has seen because you've been doing it all underneath. So what do you actually do with all of this? The first thing, and I really mean this, is just to let yourself be tired. Stop treating it like it's a character flaw. You've been doing something genuinely demanding and your brain is just giving you honest feedback of how you're doing. And make sure to honor that. Secondly, think about how you want to recover after a long day of doing a lot of English speaking. Most people, they just push through the next thing. But I think even a few minutes of unwinding quietly in your native language or just going for a short walk, this can really help your nervous system decompress. Just make sure to give your brain a rest and don't overload it too much. And thirdly, eventually in the long term, the goal is to make this feeling more automatic. The reason why it costs so much of your energy because it's still really conscious. It's still really deliberate and you're doing a lot of overload thinking, which is understandable. But the more you practice in low pressure, realistic situations, the more your brain starts to handle things on autopilot and feel less stress. And eventually you have more energy to utilize in actual conversations. This is exactly what I focus on with my students in the Beyond English program. Not just the words and not just the grammar, but the kind of fluency that doesn't cost too much for you to show up, where speaking feels less like a performance and starts feeling more like you. So the next time you finish a long day of speaking in English, and you just feel absolutely done and defeated, I want you to remember this. Your brain just did something maybe not a lot of people fully appreciate. It held a language online, managed your emotions, navigated the whole social dynamics of the room, and it did all that while you were just trying to live your life. That's not weakness, that's you actually doing the hard work, and it will really matter and compound over time. If this video gave meaning to something you've been feeling for a while, make sure to share it with someone who needs it, because I promise maybe they're exhausted too, and they think that they're the only one feeling this way. I'll see you in the next video.